Welcome back to the Forensic Unplugged channel. I've been doing the video on my M4 glass thing for 3 deliveries. There's not another one out there, is it? Here, another one. Anyway, a box of goodies has turned up, and I know when it says Donkey Nuts Detailing, it's from Imran into Detailing, and I think this is going to be all my citrus stuff. So let's just have a look. And I'm not sure, I think this might be virtually the full lineup. Come on, let's have a look. Imran's packing game is really, oh, you beauty. Look at those. You beauty. Thank you, Imran. I'm going to chug away on one of those now. Get the old gnashers on it. So what have we got here? Well, I know what we've got because I ordered it. Angel Wax Cleanliness. KKD Citrus Magic. Starnagloss Forced Strong but Technique. Not Infinity Wax. Wax Planet Roadkill. Infinity Wax Citrus Pre-wash. Valet Pro Citrus Wash. I'd have to get that in there. I think that's it. Is that it? Any more goodies hiding in there? Come on in, man. You could have got me some chocolates. That's a Ferrero Rocher. But Ambassador, you're spoiling us. So how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's another one to come, I think. What am I missing here? Oh, no. What am I missing? I'm missing one. Not that I've ordered with Imran. I think I've got another one on Amazon coming in. Don't know. There was one product. I wanted to get the shiny garage one in, but can't find it with any of the online distributors, and it was out of stock on the 1 litre one. I'm not buying 5 litres of it. And I've also got to be careful. What I recommend to you has to be available. So if I can't easily source a product, then I don't tend to put it in. Not always. There are some exceptions to that. But yeah, I couldn't get the 1 litre. So there's one more coming. What is it? Oh, Jesus. It's going to really bug me now. Hold on. Okay, I think the one that's not here is the Carchem Citrus. I haven't actually ordered that yet. So I'm not sure. Shall I put that in? It's cheap, which is always good. I like to get some value ones in here. We got some high-end ones in here. You know, that's more expensive. I can't remember the prices, but we got good, like, premium detailing brands. And then we got like this one, which is really cheap. So I think it's a good mix of a lineup for, I should say what it's for. It's citrus, isn't it? Citrus cleaners. Now, I haven't started sort of breaking down what I'm going to test. It's probably going to be similar to the snow foam test. One thing that's really important is with citruses, most of them are for exterior cleaning because they contain limonene, orange peel oil, which is a solvent. So generally therefore, I mean, this one here, powerful concentrated pre-wash, which is safe on all exterior surfaces. I'm going into analytical mode, but that's great because it's just answered my question about this product. You know, so it's for all exterior surfaces, really. I'm reading from that, and that's what I want to know. And it's giving me my concentrations, using a pump sprayer, or apply the product, allow 3 to 4 minutes before rinsing. So like, I like it when they get the instructions right. That's good. And I'm not picking on any in particular, but some of them will get their instructions wrong. So Roadkill is a highly concentrated bug remover. It's effective and safe on painted surfaces. That's really interesting. Really interesting, because if you read it verbatim, does that mean I can't spray it over my car because glass isn't a painted surface? You know, I'm in pedantic mode, but that's what doing reviews is about. This citrus paste degreases and cleans in one application to remove bugs, traffic film, and other contaminants from vehicle bodywork. Roadkill can be used safely as a pre-wash or for a hand sprayer or pump sprayer. So that's great. It's similar to the Infinity Wax. Directions for use according to the guidelines, apply by hand or pump sprayer. Well, it doesn't say like, so you apply it to your car bodywork at those dilution ratios, which is fine. And dilution we'll be looking at because that's how you get your value for money. But it doesn't say leave it to dwell for 3 to 5 minutes and rinse off. So if you're really dumb, you might just apply it to the car and leave it there. You know what I mean? And I have to look at things like that in these tests because you might get some dum-dum that puts it on their car and thinks, well, I followed the instructions and doesn't rinse it off. So, yeah. But where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? You have to have a bit of flexibility, but we'll discuss all of this sort of stuff. So just interesting. This is the Stana Gloss one. I'm just going to pop the lid, just see if that reflexes back out. It doesn't. So it's kind of, whatever's in there is sucked in the bottle a little bit. That's okay though. It's acceptable. It's beautifully presented. I mean, it really looks like when you're paying, I don't know if this is expensive or not. I don't think it's that expensive. I bought all of these. Every single one has been bought. Every single one this time, which is good. But it does look premium, doesn't it? It looks really premium. So let's have a look at these instructions. Intensive citrus TFR pre-cleaner for removal of road grime before a contact wash. So that's quite specific with this one. So this is interesting. So this is like advertised as a pre-cleaner, like a pre-wash cleaner, rather than a general dirt and grime remover. And I'm sure there'll be some of these that will probably say you might be able to use them on interiors at low concentration. It's all that detail that I want to know. But generally with the citrus, that solvent power is useful for degreasing and breaking down bug splatter and stuff like that in a mild way. So instead of using just surfactants like you get in a snow foam, a good citrus should be loaded with orange oil. And it's that orange oil that's a mild solvent. You're probably going to degrade protection a little bit, but it's used because it's mild. The downside is with it, that citrus oil, limonene, is bloody expensive. So what you can do is you can lower the amount of citrus in there and increase the amount of cheaper surfactants like sodium hydroxide to give you the punch. But I don't know how I'm going to be able to tell how much citrus are in all of these. That's going to be a really interesting thing that I'm going to have to think about. So rinse the car with plain water. Okay, spray onto target area. So I've done a video saying I don't like to rinse the car with water first when there's road film on it, at least, because it soaks out the road film with water. When the water soaks out the road film, it gets saturated and the road film can't draw in the surfactant as easily. So if you imagine a piece of paper and you soak it in water and another piece of paper is bone dry, spray the surfactant onto the dry paper and it will soak in, spray it onto the water and it won't be able to penetrate as much. But you have to follow manufacturer's instructions. It's all open to opinion, this, and lots of people, rinse cars down with water first just to blast off bits and pieces. So it's not a major thing, but I know it. Well, I say I know it. I think it affects its ability to work as a pre-wash when you've got loads of road film on there when you soak it out first. So I don't know. That might make an interesting thing if I test them as pre-washes. These ones, just state to spray on. And then I'm going to be doing a test. And then if I do something different, I'm introducing another variable. So do I break the manufacturer's instructions to make it a consistent benchmark? I usually do. People have criticised me for doing that. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud. Spray onto the contact area. Usually the lower half of the area of the car covered in stubborn contamination. So a bit like a TFR. Get this on the heavy duty stuff. Dirt. Allow the product to dwell. Great. 2 to 5 minutes. Perfect. I love it when they give you times. Do not allow it to dry. Yeah, that's so important. It really is. You leave it on too long in the summer and the dirt film then dries again. It won't come off. It will re-solidify. So those are good guidelines. And I'll probably be marking on the presence of that because we've already seen one has it, one doesn't, one has it, so all these instructions things are important. Rinse thoroughly with water via pressure washer. Great, yeah. Test it first. I like it when they put that on there. I like it when they put that on there. Just in case, there's so many variables, isn't there? So many surfaces on cars that might be sensitive, especially with TFRs. You cover a car with TFRs. There was one in Fresh Lads the other day that was a car, it was virtually brand new, and it'd gone to a car wash and they covered it in TFR and it stained all of the gloss trim, the porous kind of polypropylene chewy plastics bits, covered in staining and all that sort of stuff. And it's a nightmare to sort it out. If you can polish like gloss plastics, you can get it off, but with certain surfaces you can't. So I like it when brands tell you to just test it. Just be careful and mindful of how you're using it. So the only thing with this, I think this trigger sprayer is probably for this product, and I think this might be a ready-to-go product. So you can't, there's no instructions on diluting it. Oh, hold on a second. So this is good. This is all the health and safety stuff in different languages. So just, I want this information. This is what I'm looking for as well. Proper health and safety stuff. And we've got it on this one as well. We'll be looking at all this health and safety stuff. It's got the logos. But I like it when I see this stuff. Causes serious eye damage, causes skin irritation. Yeah, because you know about it. If you get surfactant in your eyes, it's not going to be good. So it's responsible to put that on. If it's on your skin, wash it off with plenty of water. If in eyes, rinse continually. Yeah. So that's good stuff. So if you had any problems with that, you sprayed some in your eye, you could read the label and say, oh, right, I need to rinse my eyes out and all that sort of stuff. And you almost think some manufacturers don't want to put that stuff on the label because it might panic you. It's like, whoa, but it's responsible to do that. So this one here is pretty affordable, I think. Kills bug splatter remover, kills mold spores. That's really useful. That's a really useful quality with a citrus to, especially with like soft tops that have got like mold in them, stuff like that. I don't know if it's a citrus that does that or if it's got another thing in there that kills the mold, but that is something that's desirable. Highly concentrated. That is something that is very, very desirable to me. Citrus Magic, Citrus Cleaner Pre-Wash. We've got health and safety stuff on here. Let's have a look. We've got directions, 100 to 1. 100 to 1. Up to 100 to 1. So if you want to knock this right down, this 1 litre bottle can give you 100 litres of light duty cleaner. And then the value suddenly becomes very, very good. Can be applied either as a pre-wash through a pump sprayer or as a pre-wash through a snow foam lance. Great. And use it at 1 to 10 if you do, which is kind of like a standard snow foam concentration, isn't it? So you put about 1 inch in a lance bottle and fill the rest up with water. Away you go. Allow to dwell and rinse thoroughly. There's no timelines there. But again, you probably want to say don't allow to dwell, do not let dry, and rinse thoroughly. For a mould, a strong mix can be applied, also suitable for use as an APC for interior use. That's really good. Because sometimes you might want to use a citrus on an interior and also for degreasing jobs. Yeah, so like you could clean out an engine bay with them. So you can almost treat this like an APC. You don't typically use citrus for like carpet or upholstery cleaning, but so it's not saying for use in extraction systems, but there's nothing to stop me mixing this down to up to 100 to 1 and wiping down dashboards, wiping over the interior of cars. So this one I can use inside if I use these inside a car, I'm not following the instructions and I might get poor results. So it's pre-wash, this one. Yeah, on painted surfaces. So yeah, we're learning stuff about the product so far. What's the concentration maximum on this one? 1 to 25. So at the moment, this product can bulk out more than any other product. That's going to be important going forward. Angel Wax Cleanliness, concentrated pre-wash. I've used this before. It's really foamy when you use it neat. It foams up like crazy. But let's just have a look at this. Okay, so it's an orange pre-wash. So that's citrus. It's been formulated to remove bugs, road grime, bird lime, contamination from the bodywork. Our chemist, it's John, the legend that is John Hogg, has designed this water-based cleaner to be used through the Angel Wax Blizzard snow foaming lance. Yeah, but you use it for any lance. In conjunction with a pressure washer. Yeah, okay, Angel Wax Cleanliness, high foaming, yeah, it really is. Solvent-free. Well, limonene is a solvent, isn't it? But it probably means hydrocarbon solvent-free. Completely wax and sealant safe and is suitable for all vehicle surfaces. Now, that is interesting because that implies all vehicle surfaces could be anything on your vehicle. So that could be your dashboard, that could be interior, couldn't it? But it's marketed as a pre-wash, which is something on the exterior. So there's a bit of ambiguity there. These are all the things I've got to think about. Add the required amount of Angel Wax Cleanliness and water to the bottle on your foaming lance. Right, we've got concentrations later on. Or your pressure washer. So you can put it in a spray trigger or a pressure washer. Spray the vehicle, completely covering all surfaces and allow to dwell before rinsing. Wash the vehicle thoroughly with Angel Wax Fast Foam. So that's after you've rinsed it. So spray it on, let it dwell, and then rinse it off. So it doesn't say don't allow to dry. So an inexperienced user could allow it to dwell too long in the summer. So it's good, I think, when there's some sort of guidelines. What I'm thinking is I leave it for 2 to 3 minutes and don't let it dry because I think that's idiot proof, isn't it? Wash the vehicle thoroughly. Yeah, we've done that. Top tip, finish with Angel Wax blue rinse, purple rinse. That's their streak 3 thing. Right, here we've got directions. 1 to 1 for lightly soiled. For heavily soiled vehicles, 1 to 1. Lightly soiled and regular washing, 5 to 1. Okay. 5 to 1 is roughly, isn't it? It's roughly sort of 15 to 20% PIR. So if you're putting that in a snow foam lance, you're going to be using a hell of a lot. You're going to be using it virtually neat in a snow foam lance, aren't you? So there's a bit of ambiguity about the dilution ratios. This is where PIR comes in handy. Because if they put PIR, I know how to calculate that regardless. But because it can be used in a pressure washer, foaming lance, or in the bottle, the PIRs are radically different, or the mixes are radically different to achieve those PIRs. So there's a bit of ambiguity there. As with all the Angel Wax crashing, has been rigorously tested in a laboratory. I bet it has. Yeah, and the best detailers in the business to ensure, yeah, well, they're good products. Really nice branding, nice quality. The bottle's okay. These murky bottles aren't quite as glamorous as these ones where you can really see the product, but I think it's HDPE, isn't it? And is that a PET bottle, or is that PET? Yeah, that's a PET bottle. So, causes skin irritations. You've got your health and safety. You've got what it does. Avoid breathing it in, etc. So yeah, we'll go through that all again. There's some things there that could be done better. Autogland spritzer. This is a brilliant product. Although I have to get that out of my head. Just go back to just treating them all, like you've never used them or whatever. So this is, well, I'm about to say because I know about it. This, I think, has got loads of limonene in it. You used to be able to see it in the bottle. If you left the bottle, you could see like this sort of murky thing. I wonder if they've done something to make it more consistent. And I think this is really powerful, but again, take that out of my head. So what does it say? It says foaming citrus pre-wash, a high concentrated foaming citrus wash, pre-wash, which is LSP safe at all suggested dilution ratio. So it's advertising as a pre-wash. That's what it is. Pre-wash is not like an all-purpose cleaner. It's not really an interior cleaner. It's specifically for pre-washing your car. Dilute it accordingly, can be diluted 25 to 1 and up to 250 to 1. LSP safe above 100 to 1. LSP safe at suggested dilution ratios. Okay, well that you could say, well, you've suggested I've used it at 25 to 1, but they're telling you it's safe above 100 to 1. So if you use it too strong, it's going to degrade protection at 25 to 1, which is about 4% PIR, which is about 50-50 in a lance, isn't it? So if you go 50-50 with this in a lance, you're going to really have a strong pre-wash, but you're going to use a hell of a lot of product. If you go 100 to 1, which is the limit of its safety, that is like roughly 1% PIR, which is closer to 1 to 10 in a lance, depending on your throughput, but just to give you a rough idea. Apply it to the vehicle surface using a foaming lance or trigger sprayer. Okay, there's no mention of PIR here, but it can get complicated. You're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't, but I love it when they give me PIRs. Allow to dwell for a few moments. Do not allow to dry on the surface. Thank you. Great. Rinse with a high pressure washer. So really, the instructions for this are solid. Concentrations are solid. But you're limited because if you follow the instructions, this is really a pre-wash. So if I go and use this on the interior of cars, or if I use it as anything other than a pre-wash, I'm going off-piste. Their snow foam's called piste as well. So these are things we've got to consider. So that limits potentially my testing, because if I test something and Autogland say, well, it's a pre-wash, John, you're testing it for things that aren't covered. You know, they might have me banged to rights. Not that they ever say anything like that, but they might have me banged to rights. So I have to kind of understand how they can be used and consider that in the test. The next one, the Auto Bright Direct, high quality in the UK since 2000, citrus wash, multi-purpose cleaner. See, this is where it gets different. So it's a citrus wash, but it's also a multi-purpose cleaner. So let's have a look what they're telling us here. It's a powerful yet gentle pre-wash, all-purpose cleaner. Well, it's an all-purpose cleaner, and that means you can use it for any purpose. It rapidly breaks down dirt and grime, promptly and leaves the vehicle looking fresh. As a blend of deep clean detergent fused with citrus oil. Good. I want to know there's citrus oil in there. To give fast-acting removing of the toughest grime with ease. It's also ideal for road grime, above setter, moss and mildew. Great. Painted plastic, vinyl, rubber surfaces. Thank you. I like it when they tell me that. Safe to use, highly effective, leaves a streak-free finish. It's not mentioning interiors here, though. Apply citrus wash to the area by spraying directly and allow it to dwell for 5 minutes. Pressure rinse the area to remove all debris. Right, so if that's how I've got to use it, I can't use that on the inside of my car because I ain't going to be pressure washing the inside of the car. So I'm sensing that this is more of a wash exterior product. But the reason I'm laughing and stuff, because it doesn't explicitly say that. When it uses the word all-purpose cleaner, that in my little head, that applies, that means I can use it for everything. But then that contradicts the instructions. Recommended ratios, 100 to 1, 50 to 1, 30 to 1, 10 to 1. Good. So it's, you get the concentration out of this. In fact, 99% of people that buy this, because you get this in Halfords, are just going to use it like this. But really, you could argue if you can go 100 to 1, you want to be knocking this down a bit. 10 to 1 for degreasing, that's its best concentration. So really, that's good value as well. So that's nice. That's nice. But some little, I'm picking up on everything in these instructions. And some people get the ump when I do that, but that's what I'm going to do. Auto Finesse, Citrus Power, Bug and Grime Remover. Okay, great. This looks really premium, doesn't it? they get their packaging right. Those are good triggers, really nice triggers. I've had a sniff of this, it smells good. We've got instructions in all of these different languages that Auto Finesse now sell all around the world, so they have to have the old peel off label, which is a sign they're doing well. Handmade in the UK. A fast acting natural cleaning solution used to loosen and remove bugs, traffic film and grease from an array of surfaces around the car. Safe on paint, trim, glass, wheels, metal. Great, thank you. Right, ensure the surface is cool. Great, that's really useful. You spray chemicals onto hot brake discs and you can get all sorts of staining, and you'll be coughing your guts out as it boils the surfactant or whatever. Apply solution directly to the area, leave it to dwell. Agitate it using a mitt sponge or detailing brush. Rinse thoroughly with a pressure washer or open hose. Great. Cleaning solution, yeah. So it's for use. Bugs, traffic film and grease from an array of surfaces, including paint, trim, glass, wheels. I'm reading that this is really more of an exterior cleaner because you've got to pressure wash it and rinse it off. So I'm reading that. Tell me if I got that wrong. Store it upright. Do not apply it. Yeah, good. Where have we got that? Has it got the health and safety? It hasn't. Unless I bet they're tucked away inside somewhere. Let's just have a look. Let's have a look. I can't see. Be very careful. Make sure I don't do this wrong. But I can't see the little... I'm looking for that. But maybe it's not... Maybe it doesn't have that because it doesn't contain anything which is going to do anything to you. Okay. Or maybe it's tucked away somewhere else. I'll have to check that out properly later on. Okay. Virosol. So this is cheap. This is like £9 for 5 litres. Citrus cleaner and degreaser. Removes oil, grease, fats, carbon, nicotine, inks, dyes, blood, sugar, starch, mildew, etc. Non-acidic, yeah, cleaner for alloy wheels. But it's not just a wheel cleaner, is it? Yeah, no. Yeah, so two different things. You can use it on your wheels as well. Very latest breakthrough in cleaning technology. Is it? Or is it just, citrus? Blending naturally derived citrus solvent, great. Specialist surfactants and sodium citrate. Okay, it didn't say sodium hydroxide. The fast acting formula is good. You said that. Cleaner for non-slip floors. Yeah, great. Automotive, alloy wheels, vinyl, bumper, headlinings. So that's interesting. So you can use it in plastic trims. There's an interior function there and headlinings. I wonder if they just specifically mentioned headlinings. Boats and vessels. It's interesting though, they've said alloy automotive, but they've mentioned alloy wheels, vinyl bumpers, headliners, but not mentioned paintwork, using it as a pre-wash. Boats and vessels. Well, if you can use it on boats, whatever paint they've got on them, gel coat or whatever, decks, fish rooms, heavily soiled paintwork, yeah, I'm sure you could use it as a pre-wash, but they could tighten that up a little bit. Undiluted all the way through to 1 to 200, which is great. Dilute with water, hot or cold, fresh water, agitate. Allow up to 10 minutes contact time and rinse away. It doesn't say do not allow to dry, unless I've got that wrong. Yeah. Do not use on aluminium, zinc or other alkali sensitive surfaces. Great, I love it when they say that. That gets me. Don't use that word. Always test a small. Yeah, great, thank you. See, brands do it. I tend to find these brands, a bit like the Auto Smart, where they're kind of more trade products, really do go into a bit more details on how to use it. And it's got the health and safety stuff in there. pH 12 to 14, so it's strong alkaline for professional use only. So I shouldn't be anywhere near this. I think that's nothing on that side. I think that's a good label. I think that's a really good label. Now, the Valet Pro one, this could be a real good underdog, actually. My concern is the amount of citrus oil that's in it versus the heavy-duty stuff. But that you can't assume that because it's cheap. But I'm just giving you my thoughts. This is a really well-known citrus and one of the first kind of like popular citruses that everyone was kind of using. Remove bug splats, removes bug splatter, isn't it? All-purpose cleaner. So that's a very broad term. Pleasant citrus smell, does not cleans all surfaces, does not remove wax layers. Okay, fine. Pre-wash. Okay, it's got the word pre-wash and all-purpose cleaner on it. 128. So again, Valet Pro tend to do this. They just give you a concentration, and you can read that how you like it. But if then you use it above 128 for heavy degreasing, you're going off piste, and you're misusing it. So I have to be quite strict with that as well. Spray all lower panels of vehicle, leave to dwell, but do not rinse. So like those instructions, again, they limit you. What if I want to spray out my wheels? Well, you can't, because your directions say spray it on the lower panels of the vehicle. Leave to dwell, do not dry out. Great. Starting from bottom, rinse off a pressure washer. So really, this isn't an all-purpose cleaner. Well, it's really a pre-wash if I follow the instructions. I've got to spray out on the panels of the car, the lower panels. So I can't spray out on the roof. So there's a big... Things like this are really interesting, aren't they? Really interesting. I think you've really got to think about your instructions and just have a think and say, well, you know, with this, Valet Pro could say, well, yeah, John, actually, you can use it to clean your wheels and tyres. You know, you can. You could use it to clean your engine bay, John. You know, you could pre-wash the entire car with it if you want to. But if I do that, I'm breaking the instructions. So they've done that before, Valet Pro. A brilliant company, by the way. Good, like, no nonsense, good products, and they're safe. That's what my opinion of Valet Pro. You know, they always do a 5 litre offer, and it's never ridiculously expensive. There's no sort of hype around it. There's no like marketing. They don't do the kind of banana stuff, you know, and watermelons. It's just good quality valeting products. But I think their instructions could be made more broad so that they don't limit themselves when I'm doing these tests. So we've got a really good lineup here. And what's my thoughts thinking of now? I think these citruses are all going to work pretty well. And a lot of times my tests, if they don't damage and do anything, you know, do anything stupid, and we'll think about how we can test that, they're affordable, they're using good quality chems, and they're high concentrations, they're going to do well, which might penalise something like this that's a ready to use. I think it's the only ready to use one. I'm not sure if I was aware of that when I bought it, but I still want it in there. It gives us, you know, it might be mega powerful, and you might be able to dilute it down and still have it working. But if you think I could take this product here and knock it down for general cleaning to 1 to 50, all the way up to 1 to 100, I could take 10 millilitres of this and make, so 10 millilitres, a tiny little cube of this, and make 500 mil of solution. So 20 mil would make a litre. I get the equivalent of this, potentially. I'd have to test it because it's watered down. It might not be as good, but potentially, and then that would cost me like 30p, or not even that. It would cost me like 10p to make up a litre versus whatever they cost, £10 or something. So that has to be factored in if you're going to do a credible test. So concentration is important. Quality is important, though. Quality is important. Desirability is important. I'll tell you why. You know, I can get cheap chems for cars from Bonnyman's, and like, I can buy their snow foam for like a fiver for 5 litres, and it's decent. And I can go cheap and still clean my car and save a massive amount on chemicals. But I like to feel I'm using kind of brands that have got a real interest in detailing, do a bit of the, you know, have ranges of products which are really good and draw me in. So sometimes for a brand, like I've had this with like Maguire's and Auto Glim, their market wants ready-to-use products. And if they put a product in that's a concentrate, it won't sell as well on the shelf as a cleaner that's ready to go. So I'm not in the position where I have to deal with that. I'm in the position where I just want the best value for money and I want the biggest concentration. But I do appreciate that certain parts of the market that just want it to go. So how do I factor that in with a product like this that's a ready to use? I'll check on the website as well just to make sure that it is a ready to use. So there's some of my initial thoughts on citrus. I'm really looking forward to this one, actually. Do you need a citrus pre-wash? You could argue you don't if you've got a good APC and a good pre-wash snow foam. It's a nice chemical, citrus. I love the fact that you can kind of scrub over mouldy cars with it, and a lot of time it's going to neutralise that mould, stop it coming back. So that's an example where they're good. I love the fact that limonene degreases well without, you know, using any kind of caustic chemicals. So I'm looking for something loaded with limonene, affordable, good instructions, and that passes all the tests, the jack of all trades. Which one's it going to be, guys? We will get the car chem one in as well, I think. I'm going to order that now. It's because I can't get it through any of the distributors, so it's always the last one. And I know that's quite decent. So there's our lineup. You know, I want to get all the icons in there. I want to get different brands. I want to have a good lineup, and I think that's a really solid lineup for me. There we go. Let me know your thoughts. I'll publish this well in advance, so let me know. I'll get, you know, you've got to have this one, you've got to have that one, you've got to have this one, you've got to have that one. I've been doing this a fair old amount of time, and I can just say when it starts getting north of 10 products, it starts becoming a bit of a ball ache. It gets hard to manage. You end up repeating yourself, and it's just too much. So I sort of find that this level, this amount is about right. So, but let me know if you think, it's a shame that Shiny Garage one wasn't available, because I'd heard that's quite good, and it's a Polish brand, so it gives us a different flavour. But I'll see if I can get my hands on that, and that'll take us to 12. I don't think I'm going to do any more than 12. Let me know anything chemically on citrus pre-wash that you might know about. So my understanding is it's limonene with surfactants primarily, and I'm looking for high quality, good limonene quantities in these bottles, because that is the thing that costs the money and degreases well as well. We will be putting these through the dirt simulator and seeing how they cope with the dirt simulator, because that dirt simulator test is always good. The ones that shift the dirt simulator, they have to. I know it's not real dirt, but they have to degrease well to shift that, I'm telling you. So it's a good test, and it's hard to simulate, you know, a car that's got dirt on it, the same car 12 times in the same conditions, and, you know, a fair ratio. You can't simulate that. It's really difficult. So you need the dirt simulator. And that's one thing that's really helped me with these tests. And that was a good little thing. So there we go. Thank you for watching. Jesus, I've been prattling on for 36 or probably about 40 minutes. I thought I'd been talking for about 3 or 4 minutes. It's been 40 minutes. Anybody still here? Anybody still alive? Oh, God, it's got to be the worst channel on YouTube. Over and out.